a little Swedish there.
Yeah.
Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. We do have one little bump in that my Docker is out of space, so I don't have a server yet. It is trying to reclaim a bunch of old images, so hopefully it will actually do that. I think I've had some problems. I keep forgetting to purge it more often or clean up old versions more often so that we don't have that big of an issue. uh, I can check this command is right. I mean, can't connect anything yet. And we can do a little bit of coding. So the setting will be straightforward to do blind-ish. Doesn't need a whole lot of verification. Well, I mean, it'll be relatively quick as well, so that's necessarily a good way to take up time. Cannot create. Messed up our copy command. Build Windows v291. All right. Why is there possibilities at that point? Oh, it's CD. Okay. '91. And you're not going to have a server. All right, let's see if we've reclaimed enough to run. All right, so the setting is easy. Positioning, I need to be able to actually see the screen to do any evaluation of positioning. I could be looking at code for it. Well, that really just means centering the entire thing. And our search space a little bit. This was like toolbox. So right now, this is a very simple linear. Well, this is just initial position. Which, granted, if I start centering a typical case. I want to set this up more for a typical case, but they don't have as far to travel. Yeah, so we're doing a hard reset to this. We are calculating an offset based on total visible space and how many we're showing. Well, once we have an offset, we can multiply that back out to see what our total effective width is. It seems to be based around 0. We want it to be centered, right? Well, the offset is the space between. Each one is going to be approximately 64, which includes a little bit of space. Although, actually, I guess if we're showing one thing, that's one span of that much. So maybe that's the right number. All right, build C proceeding. We should, well, when it's not actually build break. One in the back. All right. And after interrupting it earlier, it just immediately stuff. Okay. All right, so we should have an actual server now, and that may have actually been very simple. Now, there's some of the things I might kind of like to do in terms of possibly moving around or making some of the tool slips a little bit more physicality. I also wanted to play around with some of the graphical effects. That's something you definitely need to have visual feedback for. Oh? Oh, did my IP address change? No. Looks like things are plugged in. What the heck? Was this some sort of sneaky protocol change? I guess this is getting pretty old at this point. It didn't log anything. And the server isn't, like, seeing a connection. That is weird. I was, like, just was copying some files from there earlier, so I know it's on the network. I guess it's possible that I could have, 202. Okay, how do you check for open ports? I don't need to do very often. Okay, so we have tools to do this. Isn't there just some real simple command line things for this? And the server itself, well, that's a Windows server. Oh. Not recognized. The server itself. Uh, 5. Okay, so why is that unreachable? I need to. Okay, so the server's actually frozen. It's not responding to any. Docker. Not a fast process. Hmm. I can do some lookup of, like, what were the other things I wanted to try for graphical effects? Is it blend? Different blending mode. Must a. This is screenshots. Image blend. Blend.paste subcolor. It's yeah, this is probably something. Yeah, so blend modes might not actually be the right word. Oh, toggle additive blend. There's additive blend. There's multiplicative blend. Additive texture coloring. And perhaps I can find what all of these options are. Minor gems somewhere. That seems like a sound thing. Okay, so that says it's running again. Hey, it's working. I guess you don't want to prune while the server's running. Oh, I might need to adjust my tool slot settings, though. I guess I didn't actually leave that in a useful configuration. Hey. Hmm. I expected to be. Maybe it's like base. Base tool slot. Weird. Well, that's somewhat more usable at least. All right. I should have gotten a total here. Oh, is it still sliding in? No, frozen to 2 anymore. Yeah, so I might want to adjust the starting position. So if I do anything that learns, I'll be able to see how that sits relative to... And actually, I mean, 7 is actually a pretty typical number, so that might actually be a better way to try and configure things visually. To get you 7. Really, not having any distance on the max. I think 3. Let's see, there's stakes. Can't learn stakes. I actually need the announcement over there, though, to see. I mean, they're actually going to not be that dissimilar. Okay, so for typical case, that leaves it visible. All right, so minor gems. Oh, I did want to move our start position a little bit. So that's like purely calculated. Well, I was kind of going off of 7. So that's going to be half of the 64. So that will be around 7 times 32. Can we reset that somewhere? Probably not. So when we start out, we hopefully won't see a whole lot of movement for sort of typical cases. Oh, I might want to redo that in general. Okay, so I don't have my full range right now on a reconnect. That's kind of hard to set. All right, minor gems. What are our possible blend mode things? There might actually be a lot of toggles overall. Okay, game graphics. Additive blend multiplayer, additive text and coloring, linear mag filter, MIP map min filter, MIP map generation. Transparent cropping. Shoot, where are we actually drawing these? So right now, we are using alpha only. Mark that. So we would make this not alpha only. We would try something. Now, you might different color settings for these. Right now, I was using one that was sort of targeted at the alpha only. Yeah, so that ends up drawing it white. Now, additive, I guess I could believe that, but let's... Well, first of all, let's see what this looks like. I suspect it's been more white. I wonder if you can add negative. I'm not sure that'll have the right effect, but interesting. There's no subtractive blend. Okay, that just seems to make it more white. If I had a dark background, that might be kind of cool. Okay, negatives just don't work. Start off at basic. Yeah. So that's full color, and it doesn't have a background that's properly set up to cut out. So it has the glow effect. I think that must be additive blend. It's just kind of doing some extra whiteness around an object, and that doesn't create a box around it. Okay, so multiplicative seems right out. Additive texture coloring doesn't sound promising. Yeah, I think the multiplicative blend gets used for like the writing and stuff, which would be great if the source graphics were properly defined for that. But the things used as arrows and letters and whatnot are designed to be used in that mode. And right, that's additive again, so it's going to be white. Linear mag filter. No, that's not used anywhere. That's probably not a good sign. That doesn't seem to do anything. At least not without something else supporting it. And I don't think there's a... Yeah, it doesn't seem promising. Now, I might be able to combine these in some way. Hmm. Yeah. Transparent cropping. Rows and columns. Loading and filling sprites. Okay, so that's for cropping the entire thing. Subsequent sprite filling loading calls. Okay, so that's... Oh yeah, there was a stencil stuff. He used that in the glow mode. Trims drawing operations to rectangular region. Stencil buffer. Drawn primitives add or subtract from pass-through area of stencil. Alpha values greater than in-min alpha will be added to stretch from stencil. Pass through the stencil. So if I had something that had the sort of like pencil texture, I might be able to turn the outline into a stencil. Yeah. Stencil. Oh yes, here's the highlight effect. Normal draw, then 3 stencil passes. Second, third subtraction. This is a little hard to follow how it works, though. Normal draw color, opaque portion. Start adding to stencil. First fringe, subtract opaque from fringe to get just the first fringe. Second fringe. But first fringe from fringe to get just second fringe. And then here we have the highlight again. That was something different, and this can also do the yum effect. Until next pass to isolate. First fringe isolated in stencil. Draw a square. Okay, so he's getting a shape that is that glow, and then just drawing. That's not gonna have any texture to it. Maybe the stencil has some alpha at least. Is there a general technique here? Stencil buffer. You're on top of the stripes, inverting the value of the stencil buffer. Extra data buffer, color depth buffer. As past the depth test. Shadows. Decaling. Outline drawing. Highlighting. Yeah, I think whatever did say that using the glow effect for a bunch of yum stuff at once was kind of heavy. Collections, planar shadows, other applications. Yeah, not like a whole lot of examples. I guess he's using it to prepare something to draw the glow area. Oh, so maybe he does two passes, the first and second fringe. And draws them at different intensity. Sort of uses the previous buffer to clear out parts you don't want to redraw. That would only work, well, yeah, if I, instead of drawing a square, if I had some, well, if I drew the paper dark, would I get an effect? Uh, I maybe use that with a stencil. It's not quite the same effect as the drawing. I don't think we've got a big block of pencil drawing. I don't have a scanner handy. Well, it's definitely dark. I don't know that I'm seeing any texture to it. Oh, you actually are almost dead. Probably also almost old. Hmm. This is using multiple passes. Start adding to stencil. Cake portion, first fringe. This is the cutoff level? Min alpha. In draw color 2. And add the buffer. Okay, well, this isn't using the first one. Normal portion, using that. Start drawing through stencil. Stop stencil. Does that not do it? Oh, invert stencil. Okay, so that makes sense. Stop. And clear stencil buffer. Well, it might be interesting to try this. It might just be a lot of extra work for not a very big effect. Okay. So you're going to be normal. When we do this, we're not going to do that. We're going to do... not start drawing. Start adding to stencil. And I think we were saying it was false. These are going to be additive. He was using 9.9. Start adding to stencil. Start drawing through stencil, which I don't think we invert it. And then we come back. Although I may have tweaked tool pause here, although it doesn't have to be too exact. And then we want to be the dark version. Start drawing and then stop stencil. Right. Because this has a particular alpha cutoff. Huh. So is that just using a more liberal line? I know some things used 0.7. It's like anything not alpha. Hmm. Yeah, so this makes a hard cutoff, whereas before I got a little bit of blend on the edges. So I don't think I'm going to like that. Even if we were able to get a little bit more texture in the coloration of it. Uh, yeah, because we refreshed our patch. All right. Let's see. Other thing I want to play around with. I think this was rotation. So you don't know. Well, okay, so here you know. They're probably a float. So we want to say if put a little tilt on there to better identify the open slots. Now, that's not going to be a smooth parameter. Oh, I actually have to see my open slots for that. More branches. How about I actually use it? I guess I could just rotate all of them, just kind of nail down the look. And then worry about making it conditional. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. Well, it's rough because of aliasing right now, so it's hard to tell that it's a hard edge. All right, so that's definitely not showing yet. Also not super obvious. Well, it'll be more obvious in comparison to actual tool slots, known tool slots. Okay, so that's starting to show a little bit. So this might have to be like 1.5, and actually like this, and make you... let's see, we've got a shovel. No, dig first. Up a little bit. Alright. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to do is set it up so that when you did learn something, like right now it'll just kind of convert one of these. You could actually make it kind of switch out, but that requires you being very specific about certain slots are empties and different slots are going to be tools. And you don't just go boom, 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 displaying them all the time. But we could do something like going from the left in the array is tools, and from the right in the array is empties. So when you learn a tool, your remaining is going to go down. Although, right, well, those are already kind of separate things from learning a tool to being informed of your new empty. Although I guess the current behavior might be a little bit better depending on the order those happen in. As far as not, well, it should happen fast enough typically. Maybe being more dedicated about it because they won't have the thing where it kind of converts over and it's fine. We will have a new one come in. I guess there could be a moment where things try to slide over. Because we're not replacing one. Hmm. All right, so we've got these. And that is going to affect the starting position of those a lot. Maybe my starting position should be just 0. And then you're going to come along and reset everything. So this is right now a singular walk. Because we're going to go through and we're going to pick up where we were. Uh, that's actually important for positioning. But not for our actual array index. Hmm. Okay, so if something's active, gonna go down. Otherwise, everybody goes up. And I can't combine those as I was. What was R? Oh, that's kind of just remaining tool slots. Which is probably going to be a little bit more of what it is. So we'll have known tool slots, we'll have remaining tool slots. We will have, from that, we will calculate an index into the actual array. Probably will be something more like this. Yeah, this is now the else. You'll need to take care of the middle. Somehow. We're gonna have an I. I think we're gonna have an I. I mean, this is actually fair because it's gonna go from one side to known. The middle is gonna go from known tool flips to, well, I guess we do kind of have this. Oh, actually, because it's that, but it's also I guess this could still be sort of a continuous I. But it would now be limited to this block. 'Cause we're still going to kind of hit everything. And then, having got to there, this is really just going to be to the end. But this is not going to be I. Do I need a separate counter for you? Or do we just say, It'd be easier to just do a separate counter? Because I'm sure it can math it out. Well, it depends. It's like known tool slips plus num tool sheets minus I. No, it's minus I. Or do we have to throw in? Is this going to make the last one? That's going to count up. Maybe it's M tool slots. Yeah. Oh, it gets confusing. Slop. That's number of sheets. This is like number of visible sheets. Okay, so that's an odd little effect there. What else can I learn? Or the firing forges, which with fire. Probably had an axe around here somewhere. Hey, Pollux. I think there's maybe a mallet. Loosen this. Oh, I wasn't watching the actual changeover. Well, and we're trying to improve the tool situation. So that's already mallet. Stuff all involves fire. Well, I'm working on my own little mod for it. Some people get confused about that. I am not the original developer that is Jason Rohr. Oop. Are there any other tools that are easy to use? Actually, I think I had a shear set up over here. And actually the loom is a tool, isn't it? No, it's only the bare loom, though. Oh, and then I got the double, just going to VOG mode, and that actually pushed it off there. I guess I have to fix the doubling. Yep. That does annoy me a little bit while developing sometimes. So when we are registering toolbox tool, I probably could. Alright, so we're already in an I on tokens. What are we going to put in here? We're going to need some sort of... Oh, wait a minute. Object record get tool. It's like we've already kind of got this information. Yeah. We can get a little bit lag with some other things. Alright, so I was seeing that effect when using VOG mode. And let's look for some other possible tools we could be using. Bow and arrow needs something to shoot. Go saw. Oh, I didn't have any learned tools. Okay, I'll have to try that again. And I think using this... Okay, so I didn't... That, right. The tool was the object there, so I didn't see the version beforehand. You do have a brand new set here. Okay, so that gets a little bit of a swap effect. It's not directly in line, but... And so that's a start. Oh, I haven't actually tested reload prevention. I've actually got some tools. What else? I don't know if I have anything to draw on, but that's a tool. Okay, and that did not double. Cool. All right, so if we learn a tool, action target tweak. Those are local variables. Held origin. Oh, existing action target. Oh, okay. So what if we did something silly? Hmm. Equals, who are we? Do we know that? Okay, we would have to get our live object to know. Hmm. That was farther than I expected. Tool learned. Action target X. Oh, is that a tile location or a world location? Apply receive offset. Click dest. Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? We really not have a live object at this point? Well, all right. So is it this? Or is it getting the live object? Well, it might be referencing the live object. That's going to tell me unused variable. Maybe I was misinterpreting what object had action target on it. Nope. That was a little weird. I mean, we should have those pause offsets. Oh, we don't. That might be total garbage at this point. We weren't actually performing an action. What are the rules again? I think there's one that has the world. Well, those are screen coordinates. Probably any kind of any kind of action target's going to be. I may have to adjust that by screen position. Okay, so destination grid position. Would be a double pair. Current pause. It's fractional grid. So screen view center. Flying person. Jump camera there instantly. Oh, so this is if you actually are flying. Set the screen to the center. Set view center. Screen target pause. Do we ever use this? I mean, I guess actually, for the way I'm using that, the easiest thing to do would be just to say 0. And that won't be bad, it just won't be great. Let's have to watch out for that startup situation there. Try your mallet first. Yeah, I think I'd need to change the approach function at least for that to work. So what are we doing? So we have a distance. It's less than 1, we set it equal. Speed is frame rate factor times 4, so it's just a base speed. If it's if it's small, we do some stuff to it. If it is too fast, if it's really small. What did I do for the screen scroll? Okay, so we've got an edge push speed. Screen center player offset. The direction by speed. VOG mode. This should just be a direction. I thought that had an effect where it varied based on how far away you were, but maybe it's not. Yeah, okay, I guess that's pretty constant. So this would be saying speed is... We've already got some mins and maxes. And it's supposed to be speed 4. Distance is going to be number of pixels. Maybe what we want to say is the amount of time that we want to take to get there. That it doesn't work well in an incremental algorithm. You have this same time, the distance gets smaller every round. Easiest thing is to do distance. And we're probably gonna have to modify that by something. Oh, right. Still haven't adjusted my position. Oh, you're an in. I guess I'm gonna use this for this. Well, long double. So you're a long double. Distance is only a double. Okay. Oh no, distance is a function. It's d. Okay. Doesn't even, well, probably more than a point it moves instantly. In fact, yeah, we're pretty much seeing instant there. Hmm. Frame rate factor. That was frame rate factor times 4. That'll work. The frame rate factor is like the fraction of the space. The fraction of a second per frame or something like that. Yep. That person starved. Okay, so that's still instant. So it does not work for that case. Got something similar to this. Seems that might be too much. That's got 100 pixels across there. Maybe we scale it to be about 4, like the normal, 64 pixel up down. Then it'll be larger in other situations. Is that super slow or super fast? We have no learned tools and no count as of yet. Yeah, there's the extra check at the bottom that takes over. I don't like the. That's a little bit too slow. And there's a chunk at the end. Although really that was supposed to be 4 at 64. Am I only getting any effective distance there? Oop. Oh, Well, I want to make a ghost costume now. Yeah, there's like differential speed for the up and down, which... Yeah, I don't like the herky-jerky. Let's just see how learned looks real quick. Well, the first part of it was okay. Kinda. I guess if anything, I'd want to have a little boop and then go smoothly up there. But if anything, I'd probably want to do a timer and an easing function to make it really look good. This responds to the up-down changes very well. That was originally a certain speed that was kind of slow. If the distance is small, oh, then we go to a distance-based thing. If the speed is faster than the distance, then we don't want to overshoot. And if it's less than 1, we need to make sure we're moving. If distance is small, if speed is greater than distance, and then there's definitely something, I guess it's the distance less than 8 that kicks in and changes it. Yeah, it definitely feels like it disappears faster than it appears, and there's still... You know, it's a little bit of a bump at the end. This actually ends up making it slower on that basic entrance, I think. We just need to make it flat faster. Well, 4 was okay up there. You probably have all kinds of things you can learn. Stakes. Yeah, and you see, that was actually too fast. Well, I want to move up there fast, but I'd kind of like to show it for a moment. That's going to mean keeping some extra state. Now, maybe I could have only one for, like, most recently learned. I guess you were learning stuff really fast, you'd kind of lose it, but... Right, because anytime we draw that, we're going to be trying to... It's not immediately set up. It would still show up there if we hadn't, like, configured that properly yet. What would we need to track some sort of little entry animation? Potentially, we would need an extra item for every slip that says either a scale or some sort of, like, entry warm-up. And that would be kind of overriding its position. Hmm. I could show it up near you if you're holding an unknown tool, but that could get in the way of speech, although maybe I could layer that appropriately. I think UI generally is shown above speech, probably? That would be one that is not normally drawn, but one that is being normally kind of reset to, well, its target position. We came along and said an item for the thing you're holding. And when you learned it, would no longer be a held unlearned tool, and it would just kind of take over and fly up there? I'm still not super happy with all this, but so I need to be able to draw stuff relative to the character, though, or place things relative to the character. Live objects. I'm just assuming it's called live objects. Game objects. Just all frame counts. Draw. Oh, this is a debug overlay? Paths and destinations after everything. Well, this is still going to have to get translations, right? Current pause. Well, that's all path stuff. Turn to sort queue. OX, OY. That's going to be tile location. Okay, this is demo stuff. Point. Subject IDs. Oh, you know what? He might have put them into the queue. And then, like, draw order rec. In order drawing, live object. Right, draw live object uses that stuff. Current pause. Okay, current pause cells. Drop by offset. Actually, the draw stuff might work in world coordinates. Once you multiply current pause by cell D, you might be able to use screen center offset. Oh, to get your actual position, do I have to go into this kind of area? Draw object. Yeah, it seems like well, might get complicated. Override animation types. Yeah, actually, I had to do this in several places. Draw object animation packed, and this baby held pause. Well, babies won't be dealing with tools a whole lot. That's adjusting the position. Action offset. So if we've got a position, so this is the if we are currently holding a unknown tool. Where O is get object ID. For held object, what? We're already going to deal with held object around here somewhere. Holding ID. In fact, well, okay, so there's held learned, which is kind of the same thing. Held object held in hand. So that's it's an unlearned tool. And we're getting all the stuff. Oh, held. So if we're holding an unlearned tool, new center offset. Held pack dot in pause? That's held pack. What is the position of our character? Held position override. Draw live object. Speakers pause. Draw rec dot person object. We should get a location out of this. Held object probably has an ID. Oh. Well, it would, yeah, we could set it without setting it. Toolbox tool. Although that does get used as just a test sometimes. Heldo ID? Object. Can we just say pause? Is that still in scope here? Toolbox pause offset. Oh, okay. So pause is out of scope. We're back in draw proper. Okay, so that's held object. Oh, held pause override. What's a held pack? Object anim packs. That sounds like an animation bank. Object ID. In pause? Oh, that wouldn't give you the, yeah, if there's a multiple learned things, that wouldn't just give you the position for free. And indeed, that might not even be one of the IDs you learn. Okay, so that's an unlearned tool. It is not showing up right here. Well, pause is in grid space. So we've got to do all that junk. Is it molt? And, well, see if that even compiles. Set but not used. Okay, cool. And sub. Oh, auto runs. And then this is in screen coordinates. Are you sub or you add? Screen. Screen view, last screen view center. Uh-oh. What? Huh? Let's set some characters. Okay, so that does not put stuff here. You probably just don't have any tools. Uh, Okay, so... boy. How do I get to a screen position? Well, I guess I need to know what these coordinates are so I can see how far off I am. Printf. So we're gonna have the multiplied is probably fine. Comma. Oh, and return. And this code is only going to run when we get a unlearned tool in hand. Or maybe it's not even running. Did I already have this? Yes. Okay, we're not hitting this code. That's a good reason to not do anything. Oh, because I didn't pick up an unlearned tool. Okay, so that's used elsewhere. Oh, I still don't have my return. We need? I didn't think we did. All right, 6,000, 55,000. Oh, so current pause is already time CELD? Maybe this is an already adjusted positioning because this is like a draw pack thing. It was like it's already calculated the effective position. Okay, so seems extra now. Those seem very, very similar now. So now we can probably do... I guess I should also be looking at like where and how speech gets placed. That could probably still be in world coordinates. Okay, so we have to make sure to reset that when we're done. Uh, speech pause is pause. Speakers. Well, this is going. Speakers is presumably going to be people who are actually speaking. Oh. Head pause, body pause, front put pause. Oh man, this is fancy pants. And yet, that's kind of what we want. This is only for speakers. Where? That must be an output from that function. Yep. In speakers pause. Uh, this is that position that got calculated there. Draw and unpacked. Where's your position? Held object draw pause. Hmm. Oh, this must be for objects? Maybe held position. Person pause. So that's the position of the speaker. To do it speech like, it gets pretty complicated. Now, I don't know why we're using body pause. Oh. That's to calculate the head pause. Okay. Let's see. Would I be better off abstracting rather than trying to sort of set that to it? I'm going to have to do something to make it dis versus when you learn something, it then what? Well, learn something. I have to set the position where we expected that thing. Uh, I need to be able to calculate that position, both to draw it and to set the position of learned objects. And I would need to abstract drawing of the little clips. That goes through all of them. If it's not equal to hide. Now, and this is specifically drawing slips. Oh, interesting. We have to add back the screen view center because apparently this is drawn in world coordinates. The UI is just kind of moving around following the world. So actually, if I did this draw to be in world coordinates, then we would just pass the appropriate things in here. Pause offset, hide offset, that would be when we're looping it. We would pass in a position and a tool, and that wouldn't be too bad. Oh, what I'm doing right now is going to apply to anyone. I need to do something that's specific to only drawing this on you. Hmm. Well, all right, this is possibly a useful abstraction. Wasn't there a thing for speakers? Draw chalk background string. Which is a member function. I don't necessarily need to be a member function in this case. There's so much stuff for this. And off-screen sound is gonna be more of that kind of stuff. Anim sound, draw a map cell. I don't know if there's gonna be any other functions that draw like UI stuff. I guess these are member functions. Draw hunger max fill line. Draw chalk background string. And draw string. Screen sounds. Draw live object. Draw map cell. That's probably the closest in terms of like sort of a UI element. And again, against the speaker thing is... Okay, speech. Split lines. These are like all helper functions for that. Oh, here's my help overlay. So that's probably for speech. This is probably for speech. Draw a tool slip. And what we get is a... I don't know if I have any precedents for the speaking, maybe. So pause, what to draw, all the options. I may have to pre-declare it. And really, it's just... Okay, mark that. All right, so the calculation is going to stay up here. We'll pause. Brackets. There's that for loop. There's that if. There's that if. And toolbox tool. Okay, and then we go back to... Oops. It realized we cut that location. It does not exist anymore. Unfortunately, I would have kind of liked to go near there. Thank you very much. As offset. So remark that. It's going to be tool pause, and then we want to draw tool slip at tool pause with M toolbox tool. Oh, I used the sprites. We put this above draw chalk. Oh, there's one more little use of I there. Hmm. Oh, and I was very lazy. Probably a good thing we did move that. It's amazing that worked at all. Now, I could actually do this math. At the other site. You. Living life.h. Go to B. Haven't actually used that yet. Default argument, parameter 3. So this is, that's on the declaration, not in the definition. Is that how that works? New person. I'm not sure you got the visual effect of the biome. Or no, it's just off in general in this setup. Okay, so the existing stuff seems to be okay. We're not using it for the new things yet. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, yes, it is not tilted. Okay, so existing stuff is okay. So we could conceivably, well, toolbox. I'm not sure that this thing should be directly drawing stuff. So this is a position. This is And we don't care what slip it is. We might have to defer this to down around speakers, which means we don't necessarily get to bootstrap off of. Well, and we want to make sure it's only our own character. Okay, yes, that's probably getting overdrawn by everything else. This would be at the layer where we do speakers, and possibly probably behind speakers. We would want to say are you a locally sourced live object? This looks like we have an available live object. If our live object and our live object it's held. But we don't yet. Well, this would just be. This would be. But now we're back to the whole position question and fine tuning thing. Our live object. Okay, but now we have to multiply again. I think it is held object. Uh-oh. Okay, so that is a symbol, but it's not a member. Held ID? Nope. Holding ID. Oh, right. And your pointer. Actually, I think, yeah, that live object's complaining about is back where we removed that code. Okay, so we have to investigate what our coordinates are again. 13,890. Actually, draw tool slip doesn't show up very many places. All right, and I removed all my print code. Well, we have current. We have. I don't have the molt. I'm gonna have to do that. Oh no, this one doesn't need to be screen view. Uh, this is being drawn in world. Okay, that's broken object. It says we did something bad there. Maybe... Huh. What's our holding ID? Yeah, holding ID is... Oh, this should also check that we're actually holding something, but... Because you could be possibly not held learned if we're holding nothing. Oh, which is exactly what we're seeing here, and you've learned this tool. I probably don't need to print this anymore. Hold an ID. Okay, the garbage is gone. Okay, so if we can do all of this stuff... We've got to pause. Speech pause is that. Not that we need speech pause any differently. Whatever. There's a few times. No, but it's not really going to be speech pause, is it? Be really close. Sort of like speech. Okay. Apparently speech doesn't move around with the animations, which probably makes sense for speech. I'm not sure about this. I guess it's a sort of like, I'm thinking of sort of like a thought bubble effect. And what we want to do is, oh, right, because I set it to 0, which should be close. But I'd want to find like that same position to, which, I mean, this is just a bunch of drawing code that works off of basic facts. So I could do a function that gave me the, well, this is alternately the speech position or that position, minus, the width of the actual speech and stuff. And we could just make that like speaking position, speech position. Then whenever we learn something, was it hard to, well, I would have to offset that by screen center, put back on update. Now this doesn't necessarily need a member function. Okay, so current pause, cell D. Is that going to be constant? For a given live object, I think so. Currently above there. Let's say position 4. I mean, technically it's any live object. Kind of being lazy about changing stuff, but actually, how many of these are there? 3. That might be it. Except you return a double pair. Well, unless some of these functions are member. I should really use my anchors more. Not taking photo. I guess this would be another good taking photo one. Yeah, I wonder if he was just ignoring the UI elements. Huh. Anyway, so you should be... Oh, get say position. Our live object. All right, so we can test just the abstraction, or extraction. Okay. And then where we... I never set anchor for that. That is going to be learned tool. No, LR. This is going to be the same position for all of these. But now we do need live object again. Well, we only need it once. Offset by... Oh. Okay. Well, presumably it's that. Now I don't know why... How a position causes something that serious. I probably don't do a null check on get our live object. Which I guess it's possible isn't fully set up when we get that initial message. So that's still fine. Yeah. What was really fun was for private servers like this that don't have the server, by chance he changed the algorithm shortly thereafter. But before he actually set it up for the unbounded scores, he would get like negative a million full slots, which would get capped at 0. But 0 is not very useful. As it is, I've adjusted things upwards that I actually don't have 3. So it's still a little bit harsh in the... Well, actually, it might only be 4 if I wasn't messing with some other things to fix the first problem. All right, so get say position. If live object need to have a variable anyway. I do this for assignment? I probably could put like the 84 or something. All right, now that's going to be learning something. Okay, so that may have been a weird case because it's held tool. It doesn't look like it worked though. Put my sticks. Oh, actually, I mean that was weird because it wasn't actually showing it in that case. But the typical case is going to look better. And I don't know that I really want to. Well, I guess I could know if it was a handheld tool, but I think I'm going to be. Well, I'm going to play with that and see how it feels. That's going to cover most cases. Hmm. I, I almost don't need the tool list. If you've got, well, you're on notice here that it's going to be a tool learn, which I guess we've already got the backwards hold. Maybe I don't need that. I mean, the really fancy way would be to look up the tool index and show like all the things it learns, but that might be a bit much. So then the question is, what would I do to like just have that pop up for a second if, or in the event you learned it? You have some sort of like just learn flag to have it stay there for a moment. Just then I got to worry about incrementing timers. Well, I guess that you do that in you would have done distance update. And that's only for holding. So, well, I've already done the loom, but there are other. Well, those are firing. These are firing too, aren't they? Hmm. Yeah, so that's like extra notice, but it's not necessarily needed because you do have the whole backwards tool thing. The frame rate factor is going to be floating. And do we actually define it anywhere? No, that's library. Oh, so now I don't actually need that entire style of drawing it. And I still need to abstract the save position. But some of that was going to be unnecessary for not just sort of passively drawing it. No. Oh, maybe I should put that with this stuff. Well, that's not where it's going to be located in the file, though. Just I'm not sure that clear live objects is either. Yeah, that's get map pause to get map index, not directly related to anything here. Oh, am I still using this? Yes, okay. Uh, all right, so everywhere. That's gonna be one of our setups. And do I realize that somewhere? All right, so the only time we're going to use that is when we learn. We'll see. And then when we go to update it, uh, actually, yeah, that'll be a condition on whether we do anything with it. Well, I still have to update the freeze. Hmm. There might have similar things. I try to do a simpler. Frame rate factor if I guess all I do care about is greater than 0. If it's less than, it doesn't really matter. Hey. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it. You're welcome. All right, so this is a thing I could learn if I had something to use it on. I guess there's the fence. Okay, that did not freeze. Or didn't freeze very long. I probably need to go ahead and turn off also my draw tool, slip. Let's just make it really big so we can see it if it's there. I might have to spawn in a pile of logs so I can use the bow saw and... Well, the fro's still the mallet. Still a bow saw. Oh, there's all my starter ones. Bow saw. We might be due for shears again, though. That's gonna be a little bit of a... You know what, I think frame rate factor is not what I think it is. Move speed factor. Each fade. Factor. High speed. Current grid speed. All without circling. Yeah, it seems like that should be a fraction of a frame, but like, I think that should be 10 seconds. Maybe it's 10 frames? Or maybe it's the seconds for one frame. But are we then assuming 60 frames per second or what? I guess this could actually be defined in game. Oh, okay. Frame rate factor equals 1. Okay, so this is relative to 60. Do we have any indication of what our actual frame rate is? Show FPS. Start getting unique sprites drawn. Frames in batch. FPS to draw. All right. Well, we know what frame rate factor is now. And it is the ratio between our current frame rate and 60. So if we want 1 second's worth, let's see, this is going too fast. Actually, I'm at 60, so this should be 1. So if I want this to be a second's worth, I think it should be divided by 60. And just make sure we're doing loading calculations. Okay, that's supposed to sit there for 10 seconds. That's expected. I could probably tweak my default position to at least pretend to be near the safe spot. See, that's Y. Of course, I missed the startup. That could be a little bit longer. Oh. Oh, you were starving. Now one thing this doesn't cover well is if we learned multiple tools at once. All right, so we can go back to like chopping and stuff. And actually, no, it was not same as axe. Almost too long, but oh, our mallet broke. Oh well. Let's have to learn a tool. Maybe that's okay when you're running around. Let's see. So, something. Actually, the mallet is a couple of things. Man, you only learned one thing, so it's probably fine not to spread all that out. guess I could have tried to do the... Okay, no. And then I wasn't paying attention to switching out. Yeah, so that opens up a slot. I guess I should have left that open. So we got center out. I've done a lot of the physical positioning stuff. There's still a setting. But I also kind of wanted to do some Stepmania stuff today. So that might be a early next time kind of thing, and then I can move on to some other polishing things, or there's some other mod type things. Okay, so that is it for programming for now. I will be back in a little bit to do Stepmania. That's pretty different. If you just want to hang out or bounce around in a dance pad, cool. If you don't, cool. But yeah, I will be offline for a few minutes to swap all the settings, and then it will take a few more minutes to get all the dance pad stuff set up. This is about when I'm usually on. You might start seeing some of the short stream breaks as we get into Stepmania season. But I will be back in a few minutes.